You can lie in bed for 8 hours and still wake up feeling like you never truly slept. Many people try melatonin, teas, or even prescription sleeping pills. But for so many older adults, the night still feels broken. If you're over 60, you may know this well. Waking in the dark with a restless body and a racing heart, wondering if sleep has left you for good. You are not alone. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that more than half of adults over 65 struggle with regular sleep disturbances. Some turn to medications that may help at first, but often stop working or bring new problems like grogginess or dependency. Today on the Senior Health Podcast, we're exploring something different, a natural, everyday food that both modern research and traditional medicine suggest can support rest: garlic. And guiding us is someone whose wisdom bridges both East and West. He is over 100 years old, still teaching younger doctors and reminding us that healing is as much about rhythm as it is about treatment. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, welcome.
Thank you, John. It is always a joy to be here, especially when we speak about sleep. There is a saying in Chinese medicine, when the heart rests, the whole village rests. Sleep is not only a physical repair, it is the spirit's shelter. But in our modern world, sleep is often treated like a battle to be won, with pills, with force, with worry. Yet sleep cannot be forced. It must be invited, like an old friend who comes only when the house is quiet and safe.
That's beautiful. And it makes me wonder, why do so many older adults struggle? Is it simply age, or is there something deeper happening in the body?
Sleep does not vanish with age, John. What happens is that it becomes more delicate, more easily influenced by the chemistry of the body. After 60, the nervous system does not bend as easily to day and night rhythms. It listens more closely to food, to breath, to even small changes in blood pressure or digestion. And this is where certain foods, like garlic, may quietly help.
So let's dive deeper. You're saying that sleep doesn't disappear with age, it just becomes more fragile. From a Western medical perspective, we know that older adults often produce less melatonin, and their circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock, can shift. Many also have health issues, medications, or stress that interfere with rest. But you suggest there's another layer, the nervous system itself becoming more sensitive.
In traditional Chinese medicine, we compare the body to a river. In youth, the river flows strong. A few stones or branches do not disturb it. But with age, the stream becomes more narrow and calm. Even a small pebble can redirect its flow. For the body, this means that minor stress, changes in digestion, or even fluctuations in blood pressure can wake a person at night.
That explains why so many people tell me they wake at the same time every night, maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, even when nothing obvious is wrong.
In Chinese medicine, this is the time we say the liver is most active in its nightly work of cleansing. If the nervous system is unsettled, the body may wake instead of resting. And then fear enters, the fear of not sleeping, which makes the problem worse.
I remember this happening with my own father. He would call me at 2:45 a.m. and say, "I'm awake again." Not anxious, not in pain, just awake. He tried teas, soft music, even medication, but nothing solved it. And looking back, maybe none of those treatments asked the right question: why couldn't his body settle in the first place?
That is the key question. Too often we ask how to push the body into sleep, but we don't ask what prevents the body from feeling safe. This is where garlic enters, not as a sedative, but as a helper of balance. Certain compounds in aged or fermented garlic, such as acetylcysteine, have been shown in studies to support relaxation and reduce stress markers. Some people report better sleep quality with these extracts, though the research is still small.
That matches what I've seen in Western studies too. Aged garlic extract has been linked to reduced fatigue, better circulation, and sometimes improved sleep in older adults. It's not a sleeping pill, but it seems to gently nudge the body toward rest.
Exactly. Garlic is not about forcing sleep. It is about creating the conditions for the body to remember how to rest.
Doctor, one thing I see often in my patients is desperation. When sleep becomes fragile, many people reach for the strongest tool they can find. For some, That means prescription sleeping pills. For others, it's large doses of over-the-counter melatonin. The problem is, while these may help at first, they often lose effectiveness. And sometimes they bring new issues, daytime grogginess, confusion, even a higher risk of falls in older adults.
Pills can silence the body, but they do not teach it to rest. In Chinese medicine we say, forced sleep is no sleep. You may appear to be sleeping, but the heart and spirit have not truly softened. That is why people often wake feeling heavy, not refreshed.
Another mistake I see is people using alcohol to relax before bed. A glass of wine may make you drowsy, but alcohol disrupts deep sleep and causes more awakenings later in the night.
That is true. Alcohol unsettles the liver and heats the blood. The body may fall asleep quickly, but it will not stay in harmony through the night.
And sometimes people try late-night exercise, thinking it will tire them out. But the body temperature rises and adrenaline increases, which often keeps the brain alert rather than calming it.
Yes, timing is everything. Movement is best in the morning or afternoon when it strengthens the body. At night, exercise stirs the winds and makes it harder for the mind to rest.
There's another point I want to raise. I've read folk traditions where people put raw garlic under their pillow or rub it on their feet to help them sleep. From a Western medical standpoint, there's no scientific evidence that either works. And in fact, applying garlic directly on the skin can cause burns.
You are correct, John. These practices belong more to cultural tradition than medicine. Garlic on the skin, especially left overnight, can be harmful. What matters is not copying old rituals without question, but understanding the principle behind them, calming the body, creating a signal of safety. There are gentler ways to do this, through scent, through warm food, through rhythm.
That's an important distinction. So instead of dangerous shortcuts or heavy reliance on pills, we should be focusing on creating the right environment and rhythm for sleep.
Exactly. The greatest mistake is to believe sleep is gone forever. Age does not steal sleep. It simply asks us to approach it more gently.
So doctor, if pills, alcohol, and quick fixes aren't the answer, what do you recommend instead? How can older adults invite sleep back naturally?
John, sometimes the simplest foods carry the deepest medicine. Garlic is one of them. In traditional practice, it was not only a flavor, but also a gentle support for the nervous system. Modern science now shows that certain forms of garlic, especially aged garlic extract, may reduce stress markers and support more stable sleep. Let me share some safe ways it can be used.
I'm listening. What's the first?
The first is about scent. While there's no research proving garlic aroma improves sleep, some people find that familiar, natural scents can be grounding before bed. In the West, lavender or chamomile are better studied for this purpose. Garlic's traditional use under the pillow was more symbolic. It was seen as cleansing the air. Today, I do not recommend placing raw garlic by the pillow because the smell can be strong and disruptive. Instead, think of this as a reminder. Calming scents, whether herbal tea, a drop of lavender oil, or even the gentle smell of warm food, can tell the body the day is over.
So the tradition had a meaning, but the safer practice is to use proven calming scents. That's a helpful clarification.
Exactly.
What's the second method?
The second is warm drinks. In many traditions, garlic was simmered in milk with honey. Warm milk itself is soothing, partly because of tryptophan and partly because of ritual. Honey helps steady blood sugar, which can reduce nighttime waking in some people. Garlic here is not proven to improve sleep, but it can aid digestion and give comfort. What matters most is the ritual, sitting quietly, sipping slowly, letting the body cool down.
That makes sense. Even if the garlic itself isn't the active ingredient for sleep, the act of preparing and drinking something warm can shift the nervous system into a calmer state.
It is not control, but invitation.
And the third?
The third is black garlic, garlic that has been fermented for weeks until it turns soft, sweet, and rich in antioxidants. Research shows it supports cardiovascular health and may reduce oxidative stress. There isn't strong human evidence that it directly improves sleep, but some patients feel more clear-headed and balanced when they include it in their diet. Just a few cloves with meals can be a gentle addition.
So black garlic is more about overall wellness and balance, which then supports sleep indirectly.
Yes, exactly. A strong heart and calm digestion give the nervous system permission to rest.
Doctor, you mentioned earlier that some folk traditions suggested garlic on the feet. Should we address that here?
Yes, John, and we must be clear. I do not recommend putting raw garlic on the skin. It can cause burns, even in healthy people. If you enjoy caring for your feet before bed, safer rituals include a warm foot soak, gentle massage, or wearing soft socks. These relax the body without risk.
That's important. So garlic's role is more about nourishment, ritual, and symbolism, not topical use.
Exactly. Garlic is not a hammer that forces sleep. It is a whisper that says, the body is safe now.
Doctor, what I find encouraging is that the wisdom you've shared doesn't live only in tradition. From the Western side, we now have some evidence that garlic, particularly aged garlic extract, may help with stress and sleep. For example, small clinical trials suggest it can reduce fatigue, improve circulation, and even modestly support sleep quality in older adults.
In Chinese medicine, we might say garlic strengthens the qi of the heart and clears heat from the blood. In modern language, you would describe how its compounds improve vascular health and balance the nervous system. Two ways of speaking, one shared truth.
Exactly. And when we talk about garlic milk or warm drinks before bed, Western medicine explains it as stabilizing blood sugar, calming digestion, and creating a bedtime ritual that signals the brain it's time to rest.
In my tradition, we call this preparing the inner village for the night. You call it balancing blood glucose and activating parasympathetic tone. Both describe the same outcome: safety in the body, calm in the mind.
I also want to highlight something important. Many herbs and foods are studied in animals long before humans. With garlic, most of the sleep research is still small or preliminary. That means we should see it as a gentle aid, not a guaranteed cure.
Wise words. Garlic is not a medicine to erase insomnia. It is a food that supports balance. The true medicine is still rhythm, light in the morning, calm in the evening, and respect for the body's cycles. Garlic is only a helper along that path.
I love that framing. East and West aren't in conflict here. They're seeing the same picture through different lenses. That must have been heartbreaking.
Medicine is not a battlefield. It is a garden. Each tradition plants seeds, and together they grow into wisdom that patients can use safely. John, let me tell you a story. Years ago, a retired teacher in his 70s came to see me. He was gentle, soft-spoken, but deeply weary. For almost 10 years, he had not slept through a single night. Each night, he woke at 2 in the morning, sitting in his chair until dawn. He told me, "Doctor, I feel like a ghost in my own home."
That must have been heartbreaking. So it wasn't just about garlic itself. It was the act of preparing and receiving a signal of safety.
Exactly. After 2 weeks, he told me something had changed. He was still waking in the night, but when he did, he no longer felt panic. He could return to bed and fall back asleep. After several months, he was sleeping 6, sometimes 7 hours most nights.
That's remarkable, and it shows something important. It wasn't a quick fix, but a gradual retraining of the body and mind.
Garlic in his diet, the warmth of milk, the quiet ritual. Together, they gave his body a message. You are safe, you may rest. That message was the true medicine.
And I think that's the most powerful part of your story. It reminds us that sleep isn't gone forever. It can return if we give the body gentle signals and time to remember. Doctor, I'd love for us to pause and give our listeners something clear they could try tonight. If you're at home struggling with sleep, here are 3 gentle steps. First, create a bedtime signal for your body. It could be as simple as sipping a warm, caffeine-free drink, like chamomile tea or warm milk with honey. If you enjoy garlic, you can simmer a little in the milk, not because it's proven to make you sleep, but because the warmth, the ritual, and the comfort all help your nervous system calm down. Second, focus on your evening environment. Keep lights dim, screens away, and allow your body to know the day is ending. If scent helps you relax, choose something calming like lavender, which has more evidence for supporting rest. Third, if you want to include garlic in your diet, try small amounts of black garlic or aged garlic extract with meals. These forms are gentle on the stomach, rich in antioxidants, and early studies suggest they may support overall health and reduce fatigue. They're not sleeping pills, but they can be part of a lifestyle that supports rest.
And let me add something important. Avoid unsafe practices. Do not place raw garlic directly on the skin. It can cause burns. And do not expect garlic or any food to be a miracle cure. Sleep returns through patience and rhythm, not force. The real medicine is consistency. Go to bed at the same hour, rise with the sun, and use food and ritual as gentle helpers. Garlic is only one of many possible companions.
That's a beautiful way to put it. So for our listeners, start simple. Tonight, try one small signal, a warm cup, a calming scent, or an early bedtime. Give your body permission to soften.
And remember, the goal is not to knock yourself out, but to invite peace. When the body feels safe, rest will return.
Doctor, I want to thank you for this conversation. You've shown us that sleep isn't about force or quick fixes. It's about rhythm, safety, and small, consistent signals. And you've reminded us that even something as ordinary as garlic can become a gentle ally when used wisely.
Thank you, John. It is always my joy to share. Sleep is not lost with age. It only hides when the body feels unsettled. When we restore balance, with light, food, and calm, rest returns like a friend at the door.
That's beautiful. And to our listeners, I hope tonight you'll try one small change. Maybe a warm cup before bed, maybe dimming the lights earlier, maybe adding black garlic to your meals. Not as a cure, but as a quiet step back toward balance.
And please remember, avoid unsafe remedies. Garlic on the skin can harm. Pills may silence but not heal. True rest comes from harmony. There is a Chinese saying, the best pillow is a clear heart. May each of you find that clarity, and with it, peaceful nights.
Thank you again, Doctor. And thank you to everyone listening. Take care of yourselves, try these gentle steps, and let us know how your nights change over the next week. We'll see you next time on the Senior Health Podcast.